My name is George Cezanne, your local weather forecaster, coming to you live from CBGS News. Over the past few days, many have speculated on the new and upcoming Hurricane Zena. And in the famous words of The Clash, many are left wondering, should I stay or should I go? Now what you see here is many forecasts that meteorologists have come up with. However, there are two that stand out. The first possible outcome is that Hurricane Zena rears its head over through here, from here, and then goes right through the Carolinas, up towards the northeastern states, and turns into a tropical depression. And the other possible outcome is that it may never even reach landfall. And what I want to do here for you all today is show you the true forecast, to show you the absolute truth when it comes to Hurricane Zena. So what you see here is a model from Euro, September 17th, of basically the pressure zones in the area. Now, there is a high pressure zone here, low pressure there. Overall, nothing is really preventing it from breaching the coast. We have Hurricane Zena around this area. It's forming, turning into a Category 2. And in the second model, we have a huge high pressure zone area here. Now, this may lead you to believe that Hurricane Zena won't be able to get past. However, what many of you should know is that high pressure zones typically will move eastward, this way, which in the coming days is what we will see. The high pressure zone will move this way, and that will leave the opportunity for Hurricane Zena to rear its way through the coast. Now, I did want to point out some of the factors and how strong this hurricane will be. As you can see here, most of the water from where it formed is extremely warm, which is the perfect area to see extremely strong and violent hurricanes. So, as Hurricane Zena is moving, it's gaining more and more power, going from a Category 2 to a 3 to a 4, and peaking out at 5 just around the Caribbean area before it starts to reach land. Now, why am I saying that it's peaking at a Category 5 over here? I want to show you some of the wind shearing that's going on here. So as Hurricane Zena approaches the coast, as it comes closer to the Carolinas, right up through here, there is some wind shearing here. You've got some strands here, and really dense strands of wind shearing up here. Now, what does that mean for this hurricane? That means that maybe you shouldn't go, because this hurricane will quickly peter out within 2 to 3 days, hopefully, once it reaches mainland. And it will reach mainland. Now, here is my own little diagram of this hurricane. This is a model taken from our satellites. As Hurricane Zena approaches the coast and goes up through the northeastern states, as I just aforementioned, it will very quickly, within 2 to 3 days, peter out and then become a tropical depression as it reaches those northeastern states. So most of the damage you're going to be seeing is primarily going to be from these more southern states like South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Now that's all I have for you today. However, there's more information coming to you from our cost analyst, Chase Wallace.
Thank you, George, for that forecast. So now we know that the Category 1 hurricane is in fact heading directly through Virginia. The question becomes, how much is that hurricane going to impact the state of Virginia economically? Or another way to put it, how much will this hurricane cost the state of Virginia in damages? However, knowing some background information to help these predictions is essential, so we will start with that. Across the United States, tropical cyclones have proven to be the most destructive natural disasters. Since 1980, weather and climate disasters have cost this country nearly $3 trillion. And in just the last 4 years, there have been more than $115 billion disasters. Last year alone, the U.S. saw 27 disasters topping $1 billion each, totaling more than $182 billion in damages, making 2024 the costliest year to date, and also the warmest since 1850. Two powerful storms from the last season tell the story. Hurricane Helene caused nearly $80 billion in damage, including catastrophic flooding and losses to agriculture. And Hurricane Milton added more than $34 billion with storm surge and dozens of tornadoes across the southeast. On average, each hurricane in the U.S. costs about $23 billion. That's a lot of money. Here in Virginia, the risks are even more high, specifically because of the Hampton Roads area here in Virginia. Experts warn that if a major hurricane were to strike this region directly, damages could exceed $40 billion, nearly 40% of the region's gross profit, and could cost 175,000 jobs. Even weaker storms have proven devastating, with the weakened post-tropical cyclone of Hurricane Matthews causing more than $25 million in local damages. So, what will happen when Virginia and Hampton Roads get hit by Hurricane Zena later this week, which is a Category 1, which will be a Category 1 hurricane by the time that it hits Virginia? Based on current predictions, damages could reach around $20 billion, with torrential rainfall and flooding being the main culprits. And given how vulnerable this region is, recovery could take years to reach its normal economic state. This is your local cost analysis, and my name is Chase Wallace, handing it off to Keegan Orem to talk about the federal agencies that will help in these crises.
Thank you, Chase, for that very detailed segment on the cost and damage assessment. Now, while you were watching that segment, you most likely thought, who will be helping me prepare and recover after this hurricane has hit my beloved state, Virginia? This is exactly what I'm here for, as I will explain which organizations help you federally and statewide, along with how. So the first federal agency we will be talking about is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They predict and oversee changes in climate, weather, and oceans, such as the formation of hurricanes, tropical storms, depressions, and low-pressure systems. They then create models to display the predictions made, which allows others to view these and prepare for the severe weather coming. They also research these alterations in weather to further understand these systems as to improve their capabilities of predicting new ones. The next federal agency is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. They basically oversee all the response federally and act as a response team once hurricanes and other weather systems make landfall or affect coastal populations. This agency then provides assistance to affected families or people, whether it be financially or in other ways. Methods and improved preparations are developed to prevent larger scale damage to cities or states using past storms as reference. The last federal agency is the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. They provide warnings on potential environmental hazards that can occur during a hurricane, such as chemical spills or contamination in water. They will also help out with communities for preparing for these environmental threats that can occur during or after a hurricane. Now for the state agencies in our beloved state Virginia that will help you in this time of need. The first agency is the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. They are the main agency for emergency preparations and recovery efforts throughout Virginia. They manage the Virginia Emergency Support Team, or VEST, while also communicating with local political offices to coordinate preparation efforts. They are the statewide overseer of response, and the governor is who makes the ultimate decision to declare a state emergency when they feel like that resources are not enough in their state to help out with the hurricane recovery. The next agency is the Virginia Department of Health, and specifically the Drinking Water Division assists with the emergency preparedness for both the public and private water, as well as the wastewater utilities. This is all through the Virginia Water and Wastewater Agency Response Network, or VA-WARN. The last agency is the Virginia Cooperative Extension, and they offer resources and methods on how to prepare for hurricane landfall to the affected residents via local offices. I thank you for joining me in this segment. I hope you have learned so much about these organizations that will help you in your time of need. Now back to your regularly scheduled news programming.